Shalom. All praises go to the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Rawach Wadash Dabalana Santa the Elder. Pause is a great milestone for the teachings of the scriptures, among other things. Shalom to the sincere Hakim across the world. Now, I'm going to read a scripture, then I'm going to show a video. Matthew chapter 24, verse 24. For there shall arise false anointed, calling themselves the anointed. Or false messiahs, actually, because the word Christ means Messiah. So here. So it says here. So the word Christus and stuff like that, it means anointed. Or anointed with olive oil. Translating from the Hebrew, which is Messiah. So the word Christ is Messiah. So when you hear somebody say Christ, he's actually saying Messiah. Without him knowing it. Right. And Jesus is Yahushua, which is Joshua. And Joshua is Yehoshua, which is mentioned here. Numbers 13. And here you can see Hosea, which is Hosea, is the same thing. Hosea and Hosea is the same thing. But this is Hawashai. And Hawashai, his name, the son of Nun, his name was changed to Yehoshua, which is Yahushua. And then in the English, well, this is the English form still, but it's still more translated from the Hebrew. But this one is then in the English, it's Joshua. But in the Apocrypha, it is Jesus. Jesus is Joshua. Translated, for example, here. Acts chapter 7. Here it says here, verse 45. So they're talking about the Ark of the Covenant, the tabernacle where the Ark of the Covenant was in. The tabernacle is a tent. And the Ark is the witness because it is the witness. Here, Deuteronomy 10 and 5. The tables are a witness. Let me see here. Here. Deuteronomy 31 and 26. Take this book of the law, which are the two tablets, and put it inside of the ark of the covenant of the Lord your power, Yahweh your power, that it may be a witness against you. Because a piece of stone, anything actually, could be a witness. As you can see here, Genesis 31:52. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness. Witness for the agreement that Laban and Jacob made that day. Laban, his sons, and let me see something. Yeah, Jacob and Laban. Laban is somewhere here. The story. Yeah, here. Oh yeah. Genesis 31, if I'm correct. Was it 31? Yeah. Genesis 31 and 45. No, 47. And Laban called it Jagar Sahadutha, but Jacob called it Galeed. And Laban said, this heap be a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore, the name of it was called Galeed. But he spoke the language of our father Abraham, which is the language of Aram. And Jacob speaks the language of Canaan. The language that we spoke while we was in the land of Canaan. That is the language that Jacob speaks. And the Heavenly Father says that in the end, we will speak the language of Canaan once more. The language that we spoke there. Well, what we're doing now, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, that's the language of Canaan. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 18. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Mizraim speak the language of Canaan, because verse 17 says, and the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Mizraim. That's in the modern day. Egypt is America right now, but in the ancient Egypt, it happened also, but it's going to happen again. everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself. Especially once the Israelites have that. Well, in these days, it was because of the Most High that was basically being a terror unto the Mizraimites. So whithersoever the Israelites were in their land, that's after slavery, by the way. And then in America now, for example, the Most High is going to be with the he already is, but he's more going to be, especially with that spiritual power. He's going to be with the Jacob descendants, and they are going to be afraid just to mention them. Like, somebody might say, oh, so, hey, the Jews, shh, be quiet. Just like that movie Quiet, when you talk, they come to kill. That's how they're going to be afraid of the Jacob descendants, especially Judah. Now going on, shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself. They're going to be afraid of mentioning the Israelites, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he had determined against it, because the power that will be given unto the Jacob descendants. They're going to be afraid. That movie Be Quiet or something. Movie. Quiet. How you spell quiet, man? I hate that word, man. Fucking bullshit. Right, here you have that movie Be Quiet and They Need to Shut Up. And there was another one with that female from Speed. I think, no, that one is They Need to Be Blind. Sorry. Okay, let me go on. So, in that day shall 5 cities in the land of Mizraim speak the language of Canaan. The language that we spoke in Canaan. It's not specifically the language of Canaan because the Moabites spoke it too. That's why you have the Moabite stone, and then you have Yahweh. But it doesn't say Yahweh. Well, it does say Yahweh, but they don't say Yahweh. That is what I should say. They say this one, but it says Yahweh. It says it right here. Yah, ha, wa, ha, Yahweh. That's what it says right there. Okay, so it's not specifically the language of Canaan, but it's the language that we spoke when we were there. And swear it. And our forefathers spoke the language of Aram, because Laban is the son of our forefather Abraham, his brother Nahor. Genesis 22 talks about that. Right, and 24 and 25. Okay, speak the language of Canaan and swear to Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, Yahweh. He is army, Yahweh the army. One shall be called the city of destruction. So one of the groups of the Israelites shall be called, many of them, but they're going to fear them. That's the point. So a heap of stone can be witnessed, for example. You can also have this as a witness. For example, this one is 15 years or something like that. It was in 2016. It is still a witness unto everybody that knows these two people, including themselves. They might not be with each other anymore. Most likely think that. Most likely they are not with each other anymore. But this is basically a witness against them. Just like how... Wisdom of Solomon. Just like how Wisdom of Solomon 3:16, as for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of an adulterous bed shall be rooted out. But it goes into that it is a witness against them. It's basically a witness against them. Or maybe it's here. Anyway, it's a witness against them because that is a witness against you because of that adulterous, but that child that you have, that is a witness against your adultery. You know? So yeah, so that heap that they put up, the heap of stones, is a witness, and the tablets within the Ark of the Covenant is a witness. So that's why the Ark of the Covenant is sometimes called the Ark of Witness. Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 5. And I turned myself and came down from the mount and put the tables in the ark which I had made. And there they be, as Yahweh commanded me. So that is a witness, the Ark of the Covenant, the book of the law, which is from Genesis to Deuteronomy. That's the book of the law. Damn. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry about all this. Here. Oh, okay. Right. So it says right here, in Acts chapter 7, verse 45, which also our fathers that came after brought in with Jesus. It's actually Joshua. And let me read on. Into the possession of the Gentiles. This is Deuteronomy chapter 7. Actually, it is, it's Deuteronomy chapter 7. Sorry, the act of Deuteronomy chapter 7 happened there, but this is the book of Joshua. Sorry, because there it says, go into 7 nations greater and mightier than thou, is when we invaded them because of their wickedness that they was doing since the book of Genesis chapter 15, when the Most High said to Abraham that after 400 years, then I will judge the Amorites, which collectively all those nations were called Amorites in this collectively, just like how in the New Testaments the Jews, Benjamin also, is all called collectively Jews, and just like how the Midianites are collectively called Ishmaelites, but the Midianites are the brothers of the Ishmaelites, but they're called Ishmaelites too. Sorry, just like how the Benjamin is also called Jews, right? Whom the Heavenly Father drave out before the face of our fathers unto the days of David. So this is talking about Joshua, as you can see it here. Here. Joshua. Jesus. Yahweh Shawai. This is Yehoshua. That's his name. Yehoshua. Yahweh Shawai. Okay. So going back to over here, so that's his name, Yahweh Shawai. So Christ means Messiah. So Matthew 24:24, for there shall arise false messiahs, and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Remember this part. If it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
Warning about AI coming for content creators.
Yeah, screw him. It's actually said before him. He just retweeted something that he saw because he's doing deceptive type of things with that so-called thing anyway. But then he started realizing it, like, oh shit.
The YouTube channel Curse Gazette recently exposed this problem by accident.
And this is a funny story because I actually watched this video that he's talking about right now. I watched it before I watched his, which is, I think, this one. Yeah. Which is crazy. It's you know, I don't know. I just clicked on it.
Doing what they always do, making videos and fact-checking them. Their research process is intense. Every video involves over 100 hours of fact-checking. They then verify information with primary sources, ideally peer-reviewed papers, and then bring in expert reviewers to critique everything. So they definitely know what they're doing. But when AI research tools appeared, they did get excited. Finally, there was a tool that could help gather information faster. So they tested it out on a hypothetical video about brown dwarfs, those failed stars between planets and actual stars. The AI generated dozens of pages of fascinating information with links to sources. It looked incredible. Then they actually started fact-checking it, and that's when things got slightly disturbing. About 80% of the information did check out. It was all traceable to Wikipedia, papers, and legitimate sources. But the other 20%, the AI had generated compelling facts about broken dwarf superstorms the nature of their interiors, and specific details that would make great content. But Kurzgesagt couldn't find where any of this came from, so they asked topical experts who flagged the exact same facts, asking where they found this information. It turned out the AI had simply invented it and hallucinated details to make brown dwarfs more interesting than they actually are.
That's exactly what they do in movies. I have seen many interviews of people that actually went through these things. For example, the movie Stomping Straight Outta Compton. I didn't see the movie because I'm not desired in that shit. And the other one of Tupac. And then when they got both of them, not together but separately, both of those friends of the people that the movie was about said that shit's fabricated. That they just put an extra sprinkle upon the movie just to actually exaggerate and just, make it something to watch and stuff like that, because that is what Esau does. So when you see movies based on true stories, you should know that Edomites are going to embellish. They're going to just put extra stuff just for, they call it Hollywood magic and Hollywood, sprinkle some crack upon that thing, that body. Sprinkle some crack upon that thing, that crack cocaine. Dust. Angel dust.
Here's where the nightmare really begins. Kurzgesagt kept investigating the sources the AI provided. One was supposedly an article from a news site written by a human journalist, but the structure felt familiar. It was the telltale sign of someone slightly rewording AI-generated text. They then ran it through an AI detection tool and it scored highly, though AI detectors are notoriously unreliable. But then
notoriously unreliable, and I was using a few things, I was actually checking a few stuff, like for example, I'm gonna give you an example, right? Check this out. Extra 90. Don't need that. Check this out. It says, oh wait, shit. I want to get the AI thing. Oh damn it, it doesn't come. Oh shit, wait. Okay, I can't recreate it. That it starts giving answer here, because I would then go to here and then it would give another answer. And they're both wrong. But if you read good, you will see like, no, he's talking about different boards. This is a software. It doesn't fix in, well, not all the time. It doesn't fix in on one thing. It fix in on all the information that it finds. Look, it says it right here, thinking. Oh shit, it doesn't say it. Let me see here. 860. Okay, so here. Damn, it goes so fast. Normally you see it gathering information from different websites. You see it here. It's not thinking, it's searching, just like how you have with Google. Here you have 39,000 results, 39,100 results within 0.31 seconds. So it found 34,100 things, websites, not even in 1 second. So that's the same thing that it does here, but a few seconds ago. Okay, cool, whatever. Right, so it's not accurate. It makes mistakes and it just finds things online, as it is explained here. I'll leave the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. But I have been talking about this for a very long time, even before the AI thing was there, because to the scriptures and to the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, we already know it, that Esau is a liar and he's going to create things and then he's going to blame those things. That's why all these diseases are blamed on animals and insects. Malaria, mosquitoes. And I always knew that, because not always knew it. I always thought it was weird in the South America country where I'm born. You always had the places that had the gold were always the places that had malaria, mosquitoes. I always found that weird until I found out, like Florida released that they are releasing over, in 2019 they released over 1 billion mosquitoes So I know that the GMO mosquitoes, by the way, here, 2.4 billion, and here, this is 2019, and this one is in 2020 something. No, this is the same. No, this is 22 article, and this is 24 article, but these are 3 separate things. 750. They kept on releasing. So it maybe in total that it would be together 2.4 billion would be. So yeah, and they also released the cane toad. It caused catastrophic type of things because it was deliberately released as a biologic control, because they did it for food's sake. They wanted the toads to eat the insects so that the insects would stop eating their crops. If he kept the land Sabbath, then the Most High would keep them away. But that's another story. But still, they introduce stuff. That is my point. And now they have a problem. They have an infestation over there. They have a problem. They can't get rid of them. They caused the problem. And they're very big, by the way. They're very big. And the snakes can't eat them, because when they eat them, they die because they're full of poison. But yeah, so they kill a lot of snakes, and therefore rats are now a danger to these people and stuff, because the rats, the natural enemies of the rats are these snakes, but the snakes are dying, so the rats are now overpopulated. They caused the whole chemical effect over there. Not a chemical, but some kind of natural thing effect, the ecosystem or something like that. Anyway, so this is a book written in the 1970s called 1984 by George Orwell. Now this is what he wrote in his book. When old speak had been once and for all superseded, the last link with the past would have been severed. History had already been rewritten, but fragments of the literature of the past survived here and there, imperfectly censored, just like that movie. Yeah, no, I missed this one. They're going, if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect.
Now, have any of you guys ever seen one of these bad things for real? We burned almost every physical book in the country. So by the time you guys grow up, there won't be one book left.
By the time you guys grow up, there won't be one book left, because that's what they have been planning for since before the 70s, even before the 1960s when this book was written. $1980, 81, something, 1984, yeah, 84. It was released in 1940s. I said 70s, sorry. I mean 40s. I looked it up often, but I forgot. Can't remember. But it wasn't written in 1984, because that's what I thought originally. So I just asked myself, wait, let me look it up. So in 1949, it was written. So, but it's 1984, the book name. So, but it was not written in this year. It was most likely written maybe 9 years before he started, or maybe 6, 7. A book is not written the day that it is published, or the year even that it is published. It took time. Right, so it says here, imperfectly censored, and so long as one retains one's knowledge of old speak, it was possible to read them. So they want to change not just the dialect of the languages, but they want to change the meaning. For example, you see stuff like nobody's going online anymore. What the fuck are you talking about, nobody? They're already changing the definition of certain things, like the meanings. Or this is a toxic relationship. Toxic. Toxic is biohazard. What are you talking about? They're changing things. I'm gonna see you in a minute. Shut the fuck up, man. That's 60 seconds. See, it's confusing because you don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, is it really 60 seconds or are you? No, I'm talking about. I haven't seen you in 3 years. What? The, what? Huh? What? What does that mean, man? See, and that's Jake doing it too. You know, so people are helping, and it's getting worse. But anyway. In the future, such fragments, even if they chanced to survive, would be unintelligible and untraceable. That is what this guy was talking about. That's one of the things he was talking about. You can't trace it. Or here?
Then a few weeks later, purely by...
Here. He says it here. 80% of the information did check out. It was all traceable. But later on, it says here, exponentially across the internet, and the original lie became impossible to trace. The made-up facts are now true. Where am I right now? 24, and this is in 25. I could play it.
By chance, Kurzgesagt saw a brown dwarf video pop up on YouTube, and it contained...
So he saw that video that he invented as a fake thing, but the AI saw his thing because the AI, the software, I should say, the software is not a fucking AI. AI means intelligent. The thing is not intelligent. It just does what it... Is a calculator intelligent? I mean, a calculator can... Where's my calculator? Oh, damn, it's gone. Anyway, a calculator. I had my calculator down there. Yeah, a few things happened with my computer, so I lost a few things. Man, Lord willing, I lost like 1 terabyte of stuff. 1.8 terabyte or something. Man, I was really tripping. But Lord willing, I got it back. So that's the beauty. Yeah, hey, whatever. Anyway. So, yeah. So, is a calculator intelligent because it can calculate faster than any human upon the planet Earth? No. It's just programmed to do that. Yeah. So the same thing with the software. It is not intelligent. It's like a calculator, you know, 1 + 1 is 2 and stuff like that. And nowadays females are, it could be whatever you want it to be. It's crazy. Is a woman one person? No, what if the child is in her? I didn't ask that. A woman could be 3. She could have a twin in what? See? They're crazy. People are crazy. And there's not just women saying that. There's dudes too.
And every single false fact that the AI had made up.
Single false fact that the AI had made up.
So do you see what happens here? This is the feedback loop that's killing truth online. AI is inventing facts to make content.
This was already planned in before 1940s, before this thing was even written. Let me finish this.
More interesting. Then a content creator will use AI for research without thorough fact-checking. They then publish content containing those invented facts. That content...
There was a video made back in the days where you had this guy called... damn, I forgot his name. He was very controversial. Oh man, I forgot his name. Tommy Sotomayor, he was talking about the elder apostles of Great Millstone. That video was fake. I saw that video and I was like, that's fake, because they stitched things together, and it was a person that made his video. He made a He made a profile. He made a profile on YouTube, and then he reposted the elder apostles their videos. And then when they saw it, they said, Tommy Sotomayor knows about us. No, he didn't. I didn't say anything, but I saw it. I've seen a lot of things, actually, where people use fake stuff as if it is real, and that's not real. But anyway.
And then gets hundreds of thousands of views, becoming a legitimate source. The next person's AI scrapes that content as credible.
For example, you have a lot of people say, like, yeah, I use AI, and AI says we came from black people. That is a fucking software that went online and found stuff, and then it regurgitated to you, but with a voice now. Like I said, it is a calculator. If a calculator could talk, everybody would say, wow, the calculator is smart, man. It could just, just throw a number at it. I dare you throw a number at it. And then it would calculate it within a second. So that's funny. They would really praise that thing. Call it a god even.
And so now the false information has been confirmed by multiple sources. The misinformation then spreads exponentially across the internet, and the original lie becomes impossible to trace.
The original lie becomes impossible to trace. Now back to the timeline of 1940 something, before that even. So it says, possible to read them. In the future, such fragments, even if they chance to survive, would be unintelligible and untraceable. Translatable, sorry. But anyway, you can't trace it back. But yeah, I didn't read it wrong. I said it wrong, but I read it before. But anyway, let me go on. Sorry about that. It was impossible to translate and also to trace back if you don't know about it. If you don't know the truth, you don't know what you're talking when you are basically regurgitating it. So going on. Any passage of Old Speak into Newspeak, unless it either referred to some technical process or some very simple everyday action, or was already orthodox good thinkful, would be the Newspeak expression in Tennessee. In practice, this meant that no book written before approximately 1960 could be translated as a whole. Pre-revolutionary literature could only be subjected to ideological translation, that is, alternation in sense as well as language. Alteration, sorry. Take, for example, the well-known passage from the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They're lying to you right there. That they are endowed by their creator, which they don't believe in, with certain inalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which they don't believe in because they want to keep you poor. Look at what they're doing to all the other countries. They're keeping them poor, and they want to keep them. They make them poor, and then they want to keep them poor. Same thing with the Jacob descendants. They keep you poor, and they want to keep you down. They do all these things to block you. That to secure these rights, governments are institutions instituted among men, deriving their powers from the consent of the governed. So they're lying to you once more again, because you have no consent. You think you're voting, but you're not. And they're taking your rights. So this is bullshit. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of those ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, which they can't, because the police are gonna put their boot in your face, the boot. Imagine the New World Order. If you want to imagine the New World Order, imagine a human boot, a soldier boot in the face of a Edomite man, because they're going to destroy themselves too, but they're going to try to exterminate the Israelites. And to institute new government, that's what they think, that basically there shall be sedition among men, but not now. It's coming. Like, you can read the rest for yourself. Let me go back to over here. No, not that one. I think it's
The made-up facts are now true because they exist in multiple places online with engagement metrics to back them up. And guess what AI feeds off?
So basically it's lying. So now going back to over here, Matthew chapter 24, verse 24. For there shall arise false messiahs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. This is a small beginning of the deceivery, and then you could start to imagine how the normal people that don't have Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, how they are really going to be deceived. And it's very easy to see how they are going to be deceived. I'm going to give you an example of a fact. So I have this software over here. I don't go online and pay these people because you can do it by yourself. For example, so let me see here, okay, the black woman, okay. So I'll make another one. So let me see. The first one took 35 seconds to make, right? So you do that one. Sorry, stretching out. Okay, cool. This is not 100% a black female. That's because I use this model, Cheyenne. And if I put here, if I put that one, then it's that one. But if I, for example, take this one here, whatever, no, this one is a little bit more, you could say, powerful. Well, it's better at reading exactly what I want. And then here, this one might take a little bit longer for the first time. Okay, so while this is being busy, let me go back over here. So remember, they already orchestrated this because these people are prophets themselves also. Remember, the magicians of Egypt, they had power. They had Wisdom of Solomon 17 explains that to you. Let me see here. They're soothsayers. Oh yeah, Isaiah chapter 40. No, Isaiah chapter 2 also speaks about that. The Canaanites, were the Philistines or the Canaanites? They are soothsayers like the Philistines. They're soothsayers. The Israelites became soothsayers like the Philistines. And here you have in, which was that actually? Wisdom of Solomon? Oh yeah, Wisdom of Solomon, yeah, 17. It's written somewhere here. Oh yes, verse 7. That's not what I wanted, but it's good too. As for the illusion of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. So their vaunting in wisdom, boasting. They was very proud of their magical wisdom, which they got through witchcraft, child sacrifice, homosexuality. Aleister Crowley got that wisdom from bending over and bending others over and stuff like that, doing child sacrifice things, having children be born by females that are willing participators. And then in that movie South Park, the cartoon, you see it too. You see that people go, what episode was it again? Damn. See, I think it was this one. No. Yeah, shit. No, if I just looking at this is just funny. But anyway, they did something about abortion and stuff like that to show you that that is exactly what they're doing. Some devil shit. And they're doing it. And it's crazy. I looked at it and I was like, damn, that's actually exactly what they're doing. You know, the elites. But anyway, so let me see if it's done. I think so. Huh? It's still? Oh, shit. Okay, that's fucked up. Anyway, let me leave that. Probably because I'm busy with something else. But anyway. So going back to over here. Yeah. Revelation chapter 13, verse 13. It's not supposed to take that long, but anyway, because I'm probably busy with other stuff, like and plus that model is a little bit larger, but still, it was supposed to be done by now. But anyway, let me finish this up. Revelation chapter 13, verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. This is talking about when he first dropped the nuclear bombs and stuff like that. Because wars before that were fought in person. You know, face to face and all that. You had to see your enemy. But nowadays, one Edomite can kill millions of people. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. One Edomite, with, of course, with his machinery. But this is what he can leave behind in the end, in the back. You know, he can kill hundreds of thousands of people in one blow. He just goes to a city with a few millions. That's fake. You can see it's fake. But yeah, he can kill millions of people. That's the point. One Edomite can kill millions. So yeah, that's that part. But yeah, but this is also going into, let me see. This is also going into the wonders that he can do by lying, by deceiving people. It was given unto him to deceive the four corners. Revelation chapter, let me see, 18 verse 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. The light of a candle is, for example, America. Everybody wants to go to America. Everybody wants to desire the wisdom of the American people. And, well, the American government, actually. But a lot of people are looking at that fire right now and noticing that, no, that fire is actually not a good fire. But still, many of them are still in awe, you know, of America. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee, because it's all party. When you think of America, a lot of people want to think of partying and stuff like that. Europe has it too. Don't get me twisted, but it's still not as great as America. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, and by thy sorcery were all nations deceived. That is that deceivery spirit that Esau has in America right over there, the great Babylon. So, verse 20, so deceive the nations no more for a short period in time, and Revelation 20 and 8, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle. And that is that war that they're going to deceive the nations to actually go up in, because they're going to lie, they're going to cheat, they're going to steal, because the people that are behind the war, those are the ones that are actually making the money. And they're going to use stuff like this, that deceivery lying stuff. As you can see, the police officers, they already be using police is using AI to tackle grooming gangs and but they're, let me see. You could just look at their tattoos, because they're stupid enough to actually incriminate themselves. It's the smart ones that don't have tattoos. Well, not smart enough, but I mean, like, you know, you join the gang, right? If you get caught by the police, you're not that smart. And you shouldn't be in that situation in the first place. But it was a fake AI thing made on a gang member, and he saw himself. He's like, I didn't do that. Police. With AI dubbed, and the guy said, I didn't do that. Anyway, wait. Right, sorry, I was running. Now check this out. Okay, I'm about to shut this video down. and stop this video. But I wanted to show you something real quick now. Look at this model. It actually put the fringes and the border of blue, and it looks more like a Native American, right? But this is the same thing, the same prompt that I put. You can pause the video if you want to see it. It's the same prompt that I put here, except for the upper thing there. But it's the same prompt. This model doesn't do it that beautiful, but it's normally supposed to take like 12 seconds, the other one too. But first and foremost, I use two different models on two different places. The one is on my hard drive. Both of them are on my hard drive, but the one I'm using a browser with, and the other one is just on my hard drive itself. But this one is, you know, it's like, it's not cloud based, but yeah, it still uses the browser, but it's mine. Like, they don't have anything. They don't have nothing that I typed in. They don't have it. I just used the browser. But anyway, that's another story. But yeah. But this one is better. That's my point. I have ones that look even worse, and they can't compute what you're typing in. It doesn't do what you say it does. And it was not supposed to take that long, but I know why. Because it was supposed to take like, what, 15 seconds? And this one also maybe like 30 seconds or something like that. But I have a lot of programs open, so yeah. Going on. So here.
When AI appeared, we were very excited. A mechanical brain able to super quickly collect information. So we went to work, and it looked amazing. And then we started fact checking. We didn't expect it to be perfect, but it was way worse than we thought. Confidently incorrect. AI is so bad at this. We'll
it is so bad. That's why if you use that thing, for example, with computer type of things, and you ask it questions, Google has an AI, so you know, and you could that same program that I used, you could use that there too. I'm not. It's why. You know, you could do a few things, you know, test it out and stuff like that. Sometimes a few times it actually helped me. It actually helped me with a few things because, for example, my software, my SSD crashed. I couldn't get into it no more. I was like, what the fuck is that? And then I asked a few questions, and it guided me toward a few other things and stuff like that. But I still used people. I still went to go and check out people and found out stuff. So, but it actually put me on the right track. But with other things, it did help me 100%. 2,000% even, you know, whatever.
To generalize our experiences over multiple projects and months condensed into one fake project. A video about why brown dwarfs are the worst.
This is the video that guy was talking about. Which is, I think it was here. Here. This guy was talking about this video with the brown dwarf star, the planet. So they made something up.
And should be ashamed of themselves. So we got all the pro accounts of all the AI models and got to work, using deep research tools to create a summary and overview of all the information about the failed star's brown dwarfs. And wow, it was great. Dozens of pages of outlines with unique information nuggets and links to sources. Then we started to look deeper. More than 80% of the info and factoids were pretty solid, and we could reconstruct where they were from. Wikipedia, papers, legit articles. What about the rest? It was great stuff, like the speed of brown dwarf superstorms, the nature of their insides, or how disappointed their mums are. But we couldn't find where the AI got this info from, which is not automatically a bad sign. After all, the models contain pretty much...
They just made it up. They just made it. The software just made it up. But that is what it was programmed to do. So when they're telling you stuff, they're lying to you, basically. That's the point. But you can watch this video for yourself. I'll put the link in the description so you can check it out for yourself. And of course you have the AI is AI denying healthcare? No, Edomites are denying your healthcare, but they're using the software as a so-called scapegoat. So now you're going to blame it. It's just like blaming the malaria and blaming the Zika virus on the something instead of, hey, wait a minute, the mosquitoes are giving it, you say. Where did those mosquitoes come from? Okay, that's that one. They're blaming it on, for example, a cow, mad cow disease. People have been eating cows for thousands of years. It never got the mad cow disease. AIDS, it just popped up in the 90s. Nobody's really talking about AIDS anymore because it's just like how nobody's talking about the COVID thing anymore. Same thing. And people have been having sex for centuries, thousands of years. Nobody had AIDS. And all these type of things. STDs was not a big thing in these, even in the 70s. And let me see what more. People have been eating bats. Like, you know, bats, the ones that fly, the flying dogs. People have been eating bats for centuries, thousands of years. Nobody got that disease. And marsupials, people have been eating them. Monkeys and apes, people have been eating them for thousands of years. Nothing crazy. No AIDS popped up. Stuff like that. But around the time of the 80s, something did revolutionary come out. Esau, his CIA type of agent thing, not CIA, the CSI, if I'm correct, CSI type of agent thing with blood, because in the beginning, in the 80s and 70s, they could only tell what type of blood you are, type A, type B, and stuff like that. And then they started to basically perfect it to where it's almost like a fingerprint. But the reason I said almost is because they're still lying to you. Because, for example, you have a John Doe, right? A John Doe. Okay. So a John Doe is a person that they don't know anything of who it is and just bury it. And you have John Doe's or Jane Doe cases for 70 years, 80, 60, 40 years. Nobody knows who that person is, the Jane Doe or the John Doe. But this is the funny part. A lot of people in America are in the database, and their blood and all that is all put into a computer, right? So, here. If they are not able to find a family member of that that so-called John Doe or that so-called Jane Doe, if they can't find a family member here, meanwhile, they have more DNA here collected from people and put in the database than they would have collected DNA from these regions over here or any of these regions actually. And yet, when they do a DNA analysis type of thing to see where you come from, and then they could say, well, they're saying that, oh, you're part this and you're part that from here, from Africa, and you're part from here, you got a certain percentage from here, East Arabia, but you don't have these people, their DNA. You can't even figure out a fucking John Doe or a John Day in your own country. You're lying once more again, goddamn liars. And how can you then tell the people that they're part percent this or part percent that, while the majority of the billions of people that are here, their blood is not in the database? How can you then therefore say you come from this region or this tribe or whatever, and you only have like a few people? Because Esau does go over there and collects blood because he wants to experiment on it. I don't want to go too much in it because I might get like, hey, medical misinformation. But what Esau does is he knows DNA. He knows, like, if you eat something, you as an individual, you gonna get a disease. But an Edomite from Europe descent or something like that is gonna eat the same thing, but is not gonna get that disease because that disease will come and target your DNA. And you can see that with Kim Jong-un's brother died because of a so-called prank. So what did they do? They gave these girls a substance. I think it's these two. They gave these girls, and then he died. They gave these girls a substance to play prank upon people, and then they was at an airport, and they smeared something in his face. And then he went to the police, and then he told them, that these girls and stuff like that, they smeared something in my face and all that there. Okay, cool. These girls had that thing on their hands. They didn't die from it. That thing was specifically targeted to his DNA. Yeah? And you see that in the movie. Yeah, this is what they did. Oh, I didn't even see it. This is what they did. But the girl had it on her hands, man. It was on her hands when a YouTube prank killed that. No, that's not true. Oh yeah, so I was thinking about South Park. Sorry, because I saw the cartoon looking like South Park. Sorry. It was a YouTube prank. A YouTube prank for this land, this country. Thai-ish, Asiatic country, a YouTube prank. But it were agents that put them up to the prank. And weeks before he actually landed in that country, they was already doing it with other people. So these girls had no idea that those guys that hired them were actually agents from North Korea. And they wanted to kill him because he talked too much. And it was directed to his DNA. Oh shit, what the hell did I just do? Damn it. Wow, Kim Young. What? Here. But yeah, okay, so now this one, sorry. Dies from... He dies from a DNA. No time to die, if I'm correct. No time to die. Wait, sorry. Right, it was here in this movie. You had this scene, right? So lucky for me, that's the Lord willing. Lucky for me, I saw this movie before I saw the YouTube prank. I understood right away what it was. So he grabbed him, but before he went in there, the guy put something. If you watch the movie, you will see. The point is, he had something on his hands. It didn't kill nobody, no one, but the person who it was originally made for because of his DNA. The thing is a targeted weapon, a DNA targeted weapon, right?
Jesus, open the door.
But he didn't want to kill him. He just wanted to, suffer. He wanted to hurt him because he did something, and he was really angry. But anyway. And then he walked away.
Yes, I know how to interrogate an asset.
This interrogation is over.
He's an asset because they need him for, answers and stuff like that. They don't want to kill him.
Don't lecture me!
Bond, you have violated the most important rule in the whole bloody playbook. Don't move.
And then he died because he touched him. And then if you watch the rest of the movie, No Time to Die, you should watch this movie. This is exactly what happened here. Literally. I'm not joking. I can't prove it to you. But I know that it is, just through the spirit, I know, no, she didn't die. That's the whole point. She did not die when she touched him because the thing was on her hands. She's still not dead. They still not dead, right? But this guy is dead in seconds. And so was he. It didn't take seconds, but yeah, he's dead. He's dead. This guy's dead. This guy. So Esau been doing things with the DNA type of not experiments, but the knowledge that he has of the DNA thing. Behind the laughter. It was a joke. It was some CIA people that set them up to do the joke. And then they pointed out, okay, go play the prank with him. And he died. Sorry, I said CIA people. No, I mean North Korean type of CIA spy guys, whatever like that. Here you can see renting everything. Because America's falling. They say the internet is dying. No, America is dying. That's what's up. So let me leave it with this one. Joel chapter, I said it before that I'm going to stop the video, but sorry. Joel chapter 2 verse 28. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Meaning, everybody up on the planet Earth will have certain type of things that will help the Israelites figure out stuff. For example, they make it their own tongue to fall upon themselves. They are making videos like this, movies like this, So the spirit is put on Esau to make the movie, and then the spirit is put on someone else to make a documentary about this. Because if they didn't do this, I would never know about this, you know. So the spirit is put upon them, and then they, you know, and then Lord willing, I see it, or somebody else that knows about this truth and put 2 and 2 together. Because I saw the movie and I saw that thing. And also with the truth, you know, you have people that are making videos like this